Hello friends, I made this for. My name is Lauren, and if you've never been here before, hi, hello, welcome. I am a witch, intuitive, creative person, art ritual facilitator, tarot reader, blah, 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 blah. Thanks for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And if you have been here before, love you. So, I give witchy tips sometimes. That's what this video is, so thank you for being here. Today I want to talk about planetary worship. What do I mean by that? What is it to me? I'm really going to stick with what it means to me. I'm not going based off of, I'm sure other people have their own ways of working with the planets. That's essentially what planet worship is to me, is sitting down and connecting with a planet in a way that we can just kind of bring more awareness around it, support ourselves through certain transits, and just make a connection where we can bring that awareness in a way that helps support us. So why might you want to do some planetary worship? Well, for example, there might be big transits happening for you. So, for example, Saturn. If you're having your Saturn return, or your Saturn return is coming up, it might be really important or supportive to do some Saturn worship so that as you're going through your Saturn return, you are doing some work with that planet. Or let's say there's a big transit that's happening over your sun. It's just hanging out over your sun like Pluto was hanging out on my sun. It's, I think, back there again. I've got to look back at my chart, my personal chart. But that would have been a great time for me to connect with Pluto and really start strengthening my connection with that planet. So that I just can bring awareness to where it is in the sky, but also where it might be showing up in my chart, where it might be creating some tension, or just allowing myself to process what I'm going through emotionally a little deeper. So, what does that look like? Well, there's a few things you can do. Firstly, there's take out your tarot deck and pull out the card that has to do with that planet. So, for example, Judgment would be Pluto. I could take out my Judgment card and connect with this card deeply if I wanted to do some Pluto worship. Or if I'm looking to kind of work with my business and the energies on how I pursue things that I care about, maybe I want to work with Mars, which would be the Tower. And of course, if I want to connect with Mercury because my communication has really been interesting, I can pull out the Magician, which I'm about to make another video about Mercury and Leo. So that's one way that we can get connected. The tarot, as you know, if you've been here before, I strongly believe is a great tool for self-reflection, especially when we want to reflect on the stars. Yep. So when we are using the tarot card, just simply putting it on your altar and forgetting about it is not really what I mean. What I would want to inspire you to do is to sit with the card, meditate with the card, and because I'm an art ritual facilitator, even draw it in your own style. After a meditation, just maybe even a quick meditation with your eyes closed, or turn all the lights off, put on some binaural beats, meditate with the image in your mind, and then draw or journal what comes up for you. That's one really great way to kind of work with that planet. The second way to work with planet worship would be to actually do a planetary check-in every day. So what that could look like is just pulling out your chart on your phone, and if you have any apps that have your chart along with the current planets and their motions, Have a moment every day or every other day. Just create a routine with that planet. That's one way to build a relationship with a planet, is to just have a routine of where you're checking in to see where is it in the sky, where is it in relationship to your other stuff, and then kind of journaling, maybe a 1 or 2 sentence about how you see this coming up in your day-to-day life. Now, that's more for the experienced astrologer, for sure. If you understand aspects, if you understand transits and placements, that's going to be maybe something that's more easy to work with. But this can also be a great tool or a way, a technique to begin learning about the astrology and really just checking in on how is it affecting you. Just tracking where Mercury is for an entire year and seeing how that shows up in your day-to-day or week-to-week. Oh, I can't stop yawning. I'm so sorry. Can be a great way to connect with a planet and just kind of learn how these aspects impact you personally. The truth is, with astrology, we all have different impacts or different ways of interacting with these signs, these planets, these transitions, because each one of us has a very unique chart for the most part. And of course, our life experience will change how our chart changes us. So those are the first 2 ways of doing some planet worship. Again, starting with the tarot and then using the actual transit chart and your birth chart, which a lot of apps will let you do. So for example, oh my God, my favorite app personally is probably Astromatrix. You do have to pay for it if you want no ads and a lot more charts that you can pull up. Oh my God, the ad literally just happened as I was pulling it up. No. So this is my chart. I can see, oh, wait, that's not my birth chart. That's my new niece's birth chart. But either way, we can see the outside planets are the current planets. The inside planets are her birth planets. So this gives you an idea of where stuff is in relationship. She's 3 months old. So, of course, I had to look at the birth chart. We can see where these planets that are transiting might be interacting with her birth chart. The third thing to do that I really recommend anyone do. So this is again, I go back to my art as ritual a lot because it matters. It feels good to me. We're going to do some arts and crafts. So I have this paper. And let's see, what planet do I want to write down? Let's do Mercury. So I'm going to draw the symbol of Mercury on the center of this paper. I'm going to just draw it kind of big so you can see it really well. So this is the symbol of Mercury. If you're looking to work with Mercury, you might want to draw it out. Now, you could just have it drawn and maybe write down some aspects of Mercury and just kind of check back in with this planet and see, writing out your thoughts and feelings on a day-to-day. If you're not really an artsy person, that's fine. Keep it on your altar because this is planet worship, baby. We are connecting with this planet as a way of worshiping it. But this isn't like pray to the planet or like imagine this planet doing something for you. No, this is just setting time aside to connect with the planet and the energy that it has to offer. It's not worship in this, like, I grew up in a Baptist church. They're like, his light is mine. Like, no, that's not what we're doing here. I say planetary worship because we're really just using the planet as a meditative, like, connection to self and the transits that are happening in the sky. This is not necessarily start a cult to Saturn. But if I was going to start a cult, it would be to Saturn. So look out, because the Church of Saturn is probably going to be starting within the next, like, 2.5, 3 years. Whatever. Anyway, so you want to start with this. And so I might write down communication, learning, blah, 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 whatever. And then I would create a circle around that planet, that symbol. And from there, perhaps do a meditation. Maybe meditate with this planetary symbol weekly. And every week when I sit down to meditate with this symbol, I would add a little bit of a drawing around it after my meditation, allowing my meditation to guide me and working with this planet, checking in with it occasionally and seeing what comes up and letting this drawing just kind of continue or painting, whatever really feels right to you, just continuing it for as long as you are hoping to. Maybe it's a year. Maybe it's just while Mercury is in a certain sign and that sign is showing up in your birth chart a lot, so you want to kind of connect with any planet that's going through that sign. Just creating that space. This is more of a meditative practice than worship. So if planetary worship weirds you out and you're like, yeah, that sounds like devil worship, it's planetary meditation. Plain and simple. It's really not that deep. It's really just about you setting the time aside to make that connection and see what that connection represents for you. But those are my 3 suggestions for anyone who wants to create a deeper relationship with a planet. There are so many different ways, and there are different ways that people suggest it. So if you have a specific way that I didn't mention, feel free to share it down below. Tell us, what do you do to connect with the planet? Do you listen to a lot of podcasts on it? Do you read books about it? But those are both really valid too and could be added to the list. These are just some meditative, witchy suggestions for folks who might feel really empowered by doing more of a check-in sort of thing and doing that sort of work rather than kind of passively reading about it and whatnot. But remember, there's no wrong or right way. As long as you're following your intuition, baby, you doing it right. So I hope that was supportive for you. I hope you found this interesting. Again, feel free to share this video with someone you like, love, or lust after, hate, or even are annoyed by. Why not? Just share a little video with folks regardless of how you feel about them, just in case they might be finding this supportive. But with that said, my friends, don't forget to do the YouTube-y things. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.